The other important things are traces and metrics and logs, being able to see and debug issues when they happen versus having to now figure all that out once a user reports an issue, then you don't know where to get started. Having metrics on latency, having metrics on time for output token, having logs and traces for both the prompts that are incoming and the calls that you're making to a large language model to connect the full sequence of user experience is super important to be able to improve the user experience. Agentic AI hinges on you defining the tasks and evaluating how well your applications do against those tasks. Without evaluations and traces and metrics and logs, you will be running in the wild and you wouldn't know if you're truly offering a good user experience or not. Last to the right, and this is of course, some of this is a bit of a simplified version, but they're infrastructure and tools. And I've separated that out from application code. Infrastructure and tools are things that help you move faster without you having to rewrite, recreate, remaster core capabilities that you need to build a highly accurate agentic application in your application code. And so things such as you may have heard of a vector database, the ability to store embeddings and representations of text in a different format. So when you do retrieval, you can extract those embeddings from a vector database that's designed for fast retrieval and indexing and storage, and use that as a means to improve the context for the large language model to answer questions. So vector databases are super important. The other important category, which is emerging, is a prompt gateway, being ability to dispatch calls, incorporate different large language models quickly, get tracing and metrics out of the box, apply guardrails at the perimeter and at the edge, being able to route to the right task definition inside your application code enables you to move faster by focusing more and more on the application code, the things that define your user experience along with your configuration. And last but not least is memory. In order for you to build a delightful user experience, you need to be able to know how much of the context from the user chat history, how much of the context from recent queries do you want to actually be able to get to serve in solving that task or the user query that you just got from the chatbot or other means. And memory is a newer field, very nascent field, but important for you to think about how would you be able to extract the right context, store it for fast retrieval. Next time a similar question comes or related question comes, you're able to extract things from memory pretty quickly and present them to the large language model along that as being the context, and then being able to then take the query and then solve the user's ask, whether that's a retrieval ask, an agentic one via workflows, or truly as part of your autonomous agent development. All right, so one particular one that I want to get more detail on from this list is function calling. This is business logic. This is application code that you define, which truly dictates the full experience for an agentic application. Why? Because it means these are core pieces and building blocks that you expose to the large language model, expose to the tooling that help the experience be deeply personalized to your domain. This is an exceptional start to being able to build highly accurate, domain-specific, personalized applications. And so what is function calling? It enables models to fetch data and take action. If you look at the description that I shared, where we talked about agentic AI on a spectrum, where you go from little agency to more agency to extreme agency, if you would, being able to help users answer a question and complete a job for them is the action. Now, fetching data, basically it is retrieving up-to-date information to incorporate into the model's response. Some of you may be familiar with RAG. And it's, in that particular case, it's used for searching knowledge bases, databases, getting accurate data as the user may ask for it, and then being able to summarize across that data. But that's the context. But taking actions, performing actions like submitting a form, calling an API, modifying some application state, or handing off the conversation to another agentic application that is designed to handle that task, essentially routing. Function calling is essentially taking your business functions, the ones that are public or private, and exposing that functionality in a structured way to the large language model so it can use that type of information to improve task performance, get work done, and retrieve more accurate, contextual, domain-specific data that it wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. Your data, your application state, or things that you are building are very unique to your situation. Some medical records are not in the public domain, and some insurance records or insurance policies that need to be pulled at if some users building, trying to shop for insurance quotes. Their insurance policy, their past deductibles, their past claims will all be retrieved through function calling, a building block in creating agentic AI.